Quorum is present and now call this virtual meeting to order. The time is 5:25 p.m.
At this time, I will call roll. When your name is called, please answer with here or present. Ramon Garza, President.
Here.
Jeff Miller, Vice President.
Here.
Adrian Stevens, Secretary.
Here.
Trustees, Wanda Heath Johnson.
Present.
Noe Esparza.
Here.
Norma Hernandez.
Present.
And Herbert Alexander Sanchez. Also joining us through video conference and will respond with here or present are Sharonda Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations.
Here.
Christian Thompson, Coordinator for School and Community Relations. Anna Salinas, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent's Office.
Here.
Lupe Garcia, Audit Partner from Whitley Penn, LLP.
Here.
Harold Sonny Fletcher III, Senior Director for Facility Planning and Construction.
Here.
Brian Clements, Executive Director for Security, Cybersecurity, Chief of Police, and Interim Director for Technology.
Here.
Elizabeth Valdez, Executive Assistant to the Board of Trustees.
Here.
And I, Superintendent. Various cabinet members. I'm sorry, let me try that again. Various cabinet members and I, Superintendent Dr. John Moore, here, Superintendent of Schools. Staff members will practice social distancing and as required and outlined. We will use masks, hand sanitizers, disinfectants, etc., as recommended. I will now turn the meeting over to Ramon Garza, Board President.
Ms. Valdez, are there any citizen participation items for this evening?
We have no citizen participation items today.
Ms. Valdez, are there any public comment items for this evening?
We have no public comment items today.
I will now turn the floor over to Lupe Garcia, Audit Partner from Whitley Penn, LLP, who will present the audit report for fiscal years ending August 31st, 2020.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. My name's Lupe Garcia. I'm an audit partner with Whitley Penn. It's my pleasure to have the opportunity to present to you the results of the district's fiscal year 2020 financial statement audit and federal single audit. I've prepared a brief presentation to take you through those audit results. I'll cover some financial statement highlights, and then I'll end with some required communications that we have to make to you as the governing body of the school district. On this slide is the engagement team that performed the audit for the district for this fiscal year. In addition to myself, Nathan Johnson was the audit manager on the engagement, working with Stephanie Villegas and Cynthia Guerra. They were the two associates. And then Tom Peterson was the concurring partner on the engagement. His role in the engagement is one of quality control. He reviewed the comprehensive annual financial report, the single audit report, and then key audit work papers in our audit file. The audit process, to kind of take you back several months, takes a lot of the year to complete. Planning started back in the spring when we were engaged as the district's external auditors. There was two primary phases of field work during the audit. The first phase is referred to as interim field work, and the objective during that first phase of field work is we're testing the district's internal controls or its policies and procedures to make sure that they're operating as designed. And we start our testing, our compliance testing in this single audit area. This is where we're testing transactions at a detailed level. We're meeting with individuals throughout the district, especially those areas that impact the financial statements, including human resources and payroll, since payroll and benefits make up such a large percentage of the district's budget as well. And then procurement and accounts payable for those payments made to vendors for goods and services provided, IT, federal programs, attendance, and there's a long list of individuals we meet during interim field work. Once the fiscal year is over, August 31st comes and goes, management has an opportunity to post closing entries and close the year in its general ledger. We start the second phase of field work, which is year-end field work. During this phase of the audit, where it's more financial in nature, we're auditing the financial statement balances and the transaction classes. We refer to this as substantive test work. We're agreeing information to source documentation provided by the district. We're agreeing information to confirmations. As external auditors, that's the strongest form of evidence that we can obtain. So we confirm several balances with your financial institutions, with third parties, to make sure that the general ledger does agree with the amounts that are being reported to us. And we do all this work over all these months in order to obtain enough audit evidence to issue our opinion on the financial statements, because that is the objective of the financial statement audit: is, are the district's financial statements being prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, and can the users of the financial statements rely on the information as being materially correct? As external auditors, there's three different types of opinions we can give. On this illustration, on the far left, the disclaimer would be the absolute worst type of opinion we could give. That would be a huge red flag to the users of the financial statements. That would be appropriate in a situation where either the financial records did not exist, or they were in such poor shape we couldn't perform the audit at all. A qualification would be that everything was okay except the items we note in our report. And then on the far right, or the green light, is the unmodified opinion. So I'm happy to report that in the comprehensive annual financial report on pages 1 through 3, that's where you'll find our report that includes this unmodified opinion. So this is good news for the district. This is what the users of the financial statements are going to look towards before they start using the information in the report for their analysis, that the amounts are being prepared presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, and the amounts and the note disclosures are materially correct. There's a second report we issue on the district's compliance with contracts and agreements and on internal control over financial reporting. If we were to have identified any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, this is where they'd be reported. I'm happy to report that during our audit, nothing rose to the level of being a material weakness or significant deficiency, nor did we identify any non-compliance as we worked through the audit in regards to the financial statements. So this is part of a separately issued report, and that's found on pages 1 and 2. And then the third and final report we issue is on the district's compliance with the compliance requirements that are applicable to its major programs. So because the district does receive federal awards, it is required to go through a compliance audit called a single audit. And every year we go through a process of identifying which major programs are tested in the single audit. For fiscal year 2020, the major programs included the Child Nutrition Cluster, Carl Perkins, and then this was new to the district, the ESSER grant, the CARES Act grant related to COVID-19, the pandemic. So these were the three major programs that we tested in the single audit. We didn't identify any question costs or non-compliance, no findings reported here. This is really important because within 30 days of us issuing our report, we in the district have to submit this data collection form, and that's how the federal agencies are notified how the district performed in its financial statement audit and the single audit. So they use this information in their risk assessment, and they'll be waiting for this report to be issued, and they're going to look to see how the district did in the audit. So I'm happy to report that there's a clean report here with no findings and no non-compliance being reported. Moving on to the financial statements themselves, on page 18 of the CAFR, the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, you'll find the statement in net position. So this is the district's balance sheet that reports balances on one particular day. So August 31st, 2020, this is a snapshot of what the balances were on this particular day. Total assets and deferred outflows of the district total $770 million. Of that balance, there's two primary accounts that hold most of that, and that's going to be your capital assets, your land, your building, your vehicles, your equipment, net of depreciation. That's just under $380 million. And you have cash and investments of $310.6 million. Offsetting the assets and the deferred outflows, you have your liabilities and deferred inflows of resources. That's $716 million. Of that amount, $466 million is related to your outstanding bonds and unamortized premiums existing as of the end of the fiscal year. And then you have two liabilities that you've been reporting liability balances for a few years now. This is related to retiree benefits, pension, and healthcare retiree benefits. So the pension liability is $81.5 million. The net OPEB liability is $92.1 million. These are sizable liabilities, but these are financial reporting liabilities only. The district is contributing to TRS and TRS Care exactly like it's supposed to be. It's budgeting and making contributions to those plans just like it's supposed to. TRS is a statewide plan They have auditors and actuaries that calculate these amounts for all the districts across the state. They provide reports, and the districts are just taking and reporting their proportionate share of their activity in the plan and its financial statements. So that's what those balances were as of the end of the fiscal year. So the difference between your assets and your liabilities is referred to as your net worth or your net equity position, and that was 53.6 million as of the end of the fiscal year. This slide looks at the general fund revenue. So the general fund is the district's main operating fund. The two primary sources of revenue in the general fund are state aid and property taxes. So you can see that state aid makes up 46% of the general fund revenues, and property taxes makes up 45%. The remaining 9% comes from a few different sources. There's other miscellaneous state funding, primarily TRS on behalf related to, again, pension and TRS care benefits. And then the remaining 4% is a small portion for federal grant funding and other miscellaneous local funding, which is primarily investment income. There was an increase in revenues in the general fund compared to the prior year. You can see total general fund revenues in fiscal year 2020 were 238.6 million compared to 227.2 million in the prior fiscal year. Looking at expenditures in the general fund, those total 227.5 million compared to 214 million the prior year. So there was an increase in expenditures. This was budgeted. You have to think back, the district implemented the requirements of House Bill 3, which required a lot of salaries to be adjusted. So that was incorporated in fiscal year 2020 and reflected in the budget. Instruction and related services makes up 55% of the district's expenditures in the general fund, followed by 13% of facilities, maintenance, and operations. 10% is for instructional and school leadership. And then the remaining categories, functions of expenditures are all less than 5%. Now, looking at the district's compliance with the general fund, there's 3 budgets that are presented in the comprehensive annual financial report. So I'll go through what those are here on these next few slides. The general fund actual revenues were over budget by 2.4 million. Expenditures were less than budget by 6.3 million. So those are both positive variances there. Revenues and other sources exceeded your expenditures by 11.1 million. So the fund balance in the general fund grew by that amount, and it totaled 177.6 million as of the end of the fiscal year. Non-spendable fund balance is your inventory and prepaids. That was 1.3 million. The district assigns fund balance for certain purposes. That was 111.5 million. And then the portion of fund balance that's referred to as unassigned or available for spending at the district's discretion was 64.8 million. Fund balance gets a lot of attention. So just to give you an idea of how much of unassigned fund balance, which is the 64.8 million, exists in terms of days and general fund expenditures, that represents 104 days. So you can see you're in very good shape unassigned fund balance wise in the general fund. That's over 3 months of general fund expenditures. GFOA recommends having 60 to 90 days. TEA has indicators that look at this type of thing to see how liquid the district is as of the end of the fiscal year. So it's going to score very favorably in those indicators when it looks at unassigned fund balance. The Child Nutrition Program had revenues of 13.9 million. Those were less than budgeted amounts, 4.1 million due to the shutdown around spring break. Actual expenditures were under budget by 3.5 million. Overall fund balance in this fund did decrease by 600,000 for an ending balance of 3.6 million. The debt service fund reported $31.7 million in actual revenues, and that was a little over the budgeted amount by $100,000. Actual expenditures were under budget by $500,000. Overall, there was a $600,000 decrease in the debt service fund for an ending fund balance of $9.9 million. We did review the district's accounting policies as part of the audit. The district is applying all the appropriate accounting methods and policies that would be applicable to a school district. The financial statements do include estimates. And so because estimates can change in the future, it's important that you realize that there are estimates in these financial statements. Some of the more significant estimates include your state aid, revenue and receivable. A lot of different variables go into calculating those amounts, including ADA, property tax valuations and collections. Allowances for your uncollectible taxes is based on historical collections. The useful lives of your capital assets impacts depreciation expense. And then the fourth bullet here, we talked a little about earlier when we discussed the statement of net position, the net pension and OPEB liability and the related inflows and outflows of resources and expenses. That by far is the largest estimate in your financial statements. Like I mentioned earlier, those amounts are provided by TRS, a statewide plan with its own actuaries and auditors. And every year, those amounts are calculated and provided to the district. And so the district takes its amounts, its proportionate share, and reports them in its financial statements. So we reviewed the basis of management's estimates and deemed that they are being presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. I'm happy to report we didn't have any difficulties in performing the audit. This was a different year for many reasons, as everyone already knows. And so management was very flexible and accommodating and providing us everything we needed to see and review in order to complete the audit and present the audit on time as scheduled. So thank you to management and the district for their cooperation throughout the entire year in order for us to be where we are today, issuing this report on time. We didn't identify any material misstatements that we had to bring to management's attention for them to correct. We didn't have any disagreements with management when it came to the application of any accounting principles or over any accounting estimates. One of the last pieces of audit evidence we obtained is a management representation letter. This basically says that management's been an open book with us and hasn't withheld anything that might need to be recorded or disclosed in the financial statements. As far as we're aware, the management's not consulting with any other accountants on any matters that we need to report to you. And then the last bullet on this slide, during the year, we might answer questions, provide guidance, but we don't feel that the way we answer or the position we take on any matter is a condition and the reason why we're retained as the district's external auditors. So that completes my presentation. If anyone has any questions about anything I just covered, the comprehensive annual financial report, the single audit report, the audit process, or any of the financial statement highlights or required communications, I'd be happy to take those questions at this time.
Any questions for Mr. Garcia? Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I will now turn the floor over to Harold Sonny Fletcher III, Senior Director for Facility Plannings and Constructions, who will present the master plan options for Galena Park High School.
Good evening, President Garza, Superintendent Moore, Cabinet and Board. We've been talking a lot about Galena Park High School and our challenges with this site. This is just an aerial view. This is our addition. It's currently under construction. Of course, we have Keene here, Parkside here, and then 7th comes through as a street, but this property is owned by the district. And then we've got the band practice field. And then 3 or 4 years ago, we acquired this little piece of property here and teachers parked on it while we built Galena Park Elementary, which is right over here around the corner. Here's, just for more orientation, here's the front door into Galena Park High School. In the bond, if you all will recall, the bond called for a couple of major things to be addressed here at Galena Park High School. We were to eliminate the portables. The portables sat here. We've temporarily moved them over here, and we're building this addition to eliminate the portables and expand the cafeteria was our other large item. This campus eats lunch in at least 3 places. They eat here in this outdoor area. They eat here in the regular cafeteria, and they eat over here in the snack bar. As part of this expand the cafeteria, we'd like to get it all in one piece. We've looked at a lot of master plan options. We met with the I.S.D board construction committee, and this is one option we've looked at. But this option, it requires everyone to, and when I say everyone, to get with the city of Galena Park, and we all work together to see if we can move some streets and do some things. Anytime you have a really tight piece of property like this, you need a partner with your city to say, okay, we want to move this street here. That gives us our largest contiguous piece of property. And then we can start working on what this 65-plus-year-old building looks like. And I say that because there's an addition here. There's an addition back here. This is the Fine Arts addition that was done some time ago. So this building, of course, the Lilly Center over here. So we've had a lot of additions done here. In many ways, it reminds me of some of you have been in hospitals that have been in operation for a long time. You know, you have to walk through this quarter and back around. And I call an upstairs hallway. I have a nickname for it. It's kind of the hidden hallway that you kind of have to know how to get to. So in a building like this, you want to start talking about, okay, how do we plan for replacing it? And I say that because we did a study, looked at the bones, if you will, of the building, looked at the underground sewer pipes, and the sewer pipe was very corroded. It was clogged. We had larger pipes. We had 6-inch pipe, but then it became smaller and went down to a 4-inch pipe as we leave the site. So we've got a lot of challenges here with utilities, property, and just a tight, as I say, property, also a tight site. Of course, in the master plan, as an architect, I would immediately say we build on the football field and do a typical flip-flop, if you will. But there's a lot of history in Dement Field, and that's just not in our opinion, our best option. So I'm going to walk through this master plan, just an informational discussion to talk it through. We have had a couple preliminary meetings with the city to review this, and they're amenable to moving streets if that's what we want to do. That was our question with them. Needed to see what they felt about moving streets, and you'll see what I mean here in just a second. And it's moving slow, of course. Here we go. Okay, so we have an existing storm sewer here, 36-inch storm sewer, very large, 3-foot storm sewer we'd have to move. Of course, there's some streets here we're going to talk about, and our batting cage. And this is for our phase 2. We're right now in phase 1. We're constructing this classroom addition. So for phase 2, we do our new dining commons, cafeteria, kitchen. That would connect through in this fine heart, and we connect it through. There's an outside corridor that comes through, so we connect it into the existing building today. CTE has been a need that's been discussed there, so we have not settled on exactly what this CTE space would look like, but that's what it could look like. We'd have a CTE service yard down here, a 3/4 practice field, and then we'd move Parkside down here and move Parkside here. So we'd have to jog around, but that would give us a much larger, you can see, contiguous, if you will, piece of property. We'd work on 7th Street here and do a cul-de-sac. We'd keep some parking on both sides. You say, well, why did we build here and what might this look like? So this is PBK's architect's opinion of how we might continue this forward if the board chose to do a future bond at some point in the future, because we'd want to build something today that makes as much sense as possible in the future. There would be the 2nd floor of the CTE addition. So we'd have all that. So back up to this, catch what that did. We would demolish the field house and we would demolish the snack bar, ticket booth. We'd build a new field house on the 1st floor. Again, we're tight on this site, so we'd build the gymnasiums, 3 gyms up on the 2nd floor. So they'd go from the 2nd to the 3rd floor. Build our fine arts classrooms, be in phase 3 in the future, if these are if discussions. And then we would selectively demolish this portion of the old school, keep the addition. This is going to be important. I'll come back to this addition. Infill, and so we'd connect, main spine of the school would connect through. There's that cafeteria addition we just talked about. There's that CTE addition. We talked about this in phase 3. So we'd be building new classrooms. We demolish what was left of the old original Galena Park High School. And then we build back the practice fields for a floor plan that would look like that, floor plan, site plan that would look like that. So Dement would stay. We'd have a new field house. Again, this is an if. New auditorium, new classroom wing that ties into the 2-story classroom wing we're building today. Maybe a new library. And this is just an architect's opinion of what they heard in some meetings. We said, well, we need this addition to make sense in the future, as much in the future as possible as it makes sense today. Have a second floor and have a third floor. So we'd have a 3-story classroom wing over here just on this end. Now this is open to below on this side, but you can see there's the 3 basketball courts right there. This has been done out in Bridgeland, out in Cypress Fairbanks I.S.D. They have done this where they were a little landlocked, even though they were in Bridgeland, the brand new development, and they built the gyms on top of their locker rooms. I'm going to show you some renderings. These are just the architect's opinion of what it could look like. No committees have met. Nobody has said they like this design. It's just something to show what it might look like. And you remember, PBK is our architect that did Galena Park Elementary. So there would be the front of the school with the parking lot. There would be on the right, you'll see our 2-story addition that we're building today. So it works tomorrow and it works today. This is just a little further back, somewhere in the parking lot near Dement. If you were over in that way, see the field house down here on the first floor with those basketball courts above. There's what it could look like if from the track. Of course, the field house on the first floor, basketball courts up above. And this would be a view from over on the south side of the building. Sorry, the west side of the building, I should say. And then there's just an aerial, kind of gets you an idea of what that looks like once it's we're on down the road, because you've obviously built back the practice fields there. Anybody have any thoughts or questions or comments? Anything I can answer?
Honey, I have a quick comment. So, you know, we have some money in this bond that we promised Galena Park we would do something with their cafeteria, and those folks supported that bond. So I challenged Sonny and his team to come up with something, a plan that where we could fulfill our promise to the community, and also in the future, whatever we spent the money on today would work in case down the road in another bond in the next few years, the community, or, you know, it may not be me here as the superintendent, or whoever was running our school district could add on to rejuvenate Galena Park High School because of the age of it. We all know it's old, you know, and part of the problem over there is we keep adding on to different parts of the building, and nobody wants to spend $30–40 million adding on to a building and then have to tear something down that's fairly new in the future to be able to, you know, to put up a state-of-the-art kind of facility. So we just wanted to make sure we considered the future before we made the plan for today. And did I say that right, Sonny?
Yes, sir. Well said. Very well said. Yes.
So if anybody has any questions, now would be a great time.
I have a question. Sonny, now is the Lilly Center is going to be in the same place? Construction?
Excellent question. And yes, the Lilly Center would stay just like it is. Interestingly, we'd keep the sky. We're proposing, again, if and down the road in the future, you'd keep the sky bridge and then turn this into, maybe that's a second band practice field, and that's where the conductor can stand and practice them through. So we'd keep Lilly, and we'd still have a way for the students to get over there without going across the street. You know, they go up to go over the street. So absolutely, Lilly Center would stay there. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Quick question. Are there any impacts to any homes around there with the new construction of the roads?
No, the new road, excellent question again. The roads would go on property I.S.D owns today. So it would, did that answer your question? Excellent question.
Any more questions for Sonny? Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
Thank you.
There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. It is 5:55 PM.
Great.
Mr. President, I will now call this virtual public hearing to order. The time is 5:56 PM. Terry Moore, Associate Superintendent for Accountability and Academic Support, will conduct a public hearing to discuss the 2019 and 2020 annual report to the Board of Trustees. At this time, I will turn the floor over to Ms. Moore.
Thank you, President Garza. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to our Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore, and our cabinet members. It is my pleasure to be here to present to you guys the 2019-2020 annual report for Galena Park I.S.D. This annual report is a Texas education requirement, and each Board of Trustees is required to publish an annual report, which includes the Texas Academic Performance Report, or the TAPR, which was included in your most recent weekly packet. In addition, each district is required to conduct a public hearing regarding this annual report and to assure our compliance within 90 days of receiving the TAPR report. This annual report shall include information and where our required postings are included related to the TAPR, the PEIMS Financial Standard Report, the district accreditation status, our campus performance objectives, our report on violent criminal incidents on campuses, and our student performance in post-secondary institutions, as well as access to the TAPR glossary for our public. The first part of the annual report does include the TAPR, and the TAPR, just as a reminder, has 5 parts. The cover page, sections on student performance and participation, as well as a section which includes our attendance, graduation, and dropout rates, and our college, career, and military readiness information. The TAPR also includes a very robust section as a district profile, which disaggregates our student and our staff demographics. The cover page of our most recent TAPR report is included here for you to view. Our 2020 accountability rating was not declared state of disaster. And this was the same for all school districts in the state of Texas. And we do have needs intervention as a 2020 special determination status. And just to let you know, this is a carryover from the previous school year. Since we did not have student testing last year, we were not able to meet exit criteria for this. In student performance, please note that because we did not have our spring 2020 testing, this year's TAPR report does not include any results, no updated information for this past year, only information for the years 2018 and 2019. Within the student performance section for our public, as they access this annual report, the yellow boxes will be live links to the data so that they can certainly view the data as they would like to, as well as access our full TAPR report, which is online and available. The student performance section reports on our performance rates at all 3 proficiency levels of the testing for each assessment at all grades and for all subjects. It also reports on the progress rates for our students from one year to the next in consecutive tests. Our reading and our math test students are tracked each year that they take the test to ensure that they make progress from one year to the next. In addition to that, our students who are not proficient 1 year are tracked an additional year, and that is the prior year and student success initiative, where they track to ensure that we catch students who may not have passed 1 year, that we are catching them up and getting them back on level the next year. And then our bilingual education and our English second language programs are measured separately from the group as well. Several highlights for our student performance group is Galena Park had made a 10-point gain in our overall rating from 2018 to 2019, which was a significant improvement for us as a district. And based on our district assessment data last year, I'm confident in saying we were well on our way and on track to making improvement yet again this past year had we taken the test. Mathematics continues to be the strong area and our strength in Galena Park. All ethnic student groups, with the one exception, outperformed the state average at all three proficiency levels of approaches, meets, and masters. And several of our targeted groups are continuously enrolled, our economically disadvantaged, and our English learner students met or beat the state average at all proficiency levels in mathematics. And for our students who are continuously enrolled in Galena Park I.S.D, which means they were enrolled and remain in Galena Park for 3 or more consecutive years, these students performed better than the state average at the approaches proficiency level in all subjects. This group also beat the state average for meets grade level in all subjects, math and science, and our continuously enrolled students were better than the state average at the highest proficiency level of masters in our math areas. So a lot of great gains and a lot of great performance in the last accountability year for Galena Park ISD. Also required as part of this report is that we do report on the accountability ratings. While we did not have accountability ratings this past year, we are posting our most recent accountability ratings. And so in 2019, as a reminder, we had 4 schools who had earned an A, the highest level on the state accountability system. The majority of our campuses, as well as the school district, had earned a B in the accountability system, and 3 of our elementary schools had earned a C. But again, based on our district assessment data this past year, I'm confident in saying that those 3 campuses would have earned a B had we gone through with testing last year. We're also required to post our distinctions on our most recent accountability. And so in 2019, we had quite a few distinctions earned in Galena Park ISD. As you can see, there are 7 distinctions that a campus can earn. One of them only secondary campuses can earn. That's social studies 1 there in the middle. A campus can earn a distinction. They're placed in a comparison group of 40 campuses across the state of Texas that they most look like. And so if they perform at the highest in the group of 40, they earn a distinction. Most notably for distinctions in our school district, both of our high schools earned 4 distinctions each, which is outstanding at the high school level. And 2 of our elementary schools, Jacinta City Elementary and MacArthur, earned every distinction that they were eligible for. For student participation, we want to again please note that since we did not have testing last year, the most recent data is still from 2018 and 2019. And Galena Park, this one measures that to ensure that all eligible students are tested. We don't leave anybody at home on testing days. And in 2018 and 2019, Galena Park ISD tested 100% of our eligible students. In attendance, graduation, and dropout rates, this section measures our daily attendance rates And I just want to please note that the attendance is always from the previous year listed. It's what we consider lagging data in that it's not measured this year, it is measured the previous year. It also measures our annual dropout rate as well as the graduation rates that are tracked of a cohort of students from the time they enter the 9th grade and to at which what percentage of that class graduates within that first 4 years. This report also measures and announces and reports the number of students that graduate on each of the endorsement plans or graduation plans listed here. In Galena Park ISD, that we did have updated information, and yet again, we've grown in our student attendance. It is up, and not only is it up, we do beat the state average in our attendance for our students. And again, we had a reduction in the dropout rate for both grades 7 and 8 dropout rate and our 9th through 12th grade dropout rate. And our 4-year graduation rate increased for another consecutive year. So a lot of good things going on in our school district for attendance and graduation. The next section is a big one. It's our college, career, and military readiness. We call Ccmr, if you hear us talking about Ccmr. While this is also part of our accountability system, it is a measure separate and apart for college readiness and career readiness as well. For these past few years, our district has really targeted and focused on career readiness, as we know that we do have quite a few, almost half of our students who choose to go into the workforce after graduation rather than to an institute of higher education, that we wanted to ensure that they had as many opportunities available to them. Career readiness involves our industry-based certifications and our college level certifications of a level 1 or a level 2. The college readiness is determined by our students' performance on a college entry exam or the dual credit and AP course work. Our Ccmr rate increased from the years 2018 to 2019 and made a huge significant jump of 15%. 15% from one year to the next. This past year, 75% of our students had met one of the Ccmr measures, which is not only higher than the state average, it's higher than the Region 4, our surrounding Houston area school districts as well. Our number of dual credit students increased by 11%, and now more than 1/4 of our high school students have a college credit already. 50% of our high school students have received credit for an AP or a dual credit course, and our number of industry-based certifications increased by 14%. So we're making great gains in this area and have made significant improvement in the career readiness area, and we're looking forward to turning our attention onto improvement and further gains in our college readiness areas as well. The next section of the annual report, or the TAPR, includes a district profile. As you can see, they disaggregate our student and staff information into several categories, but I just wanted to include a very quick comparison for you. These are the four areas, or these are the four indicators that present the biggest obstacle for a student in getting their education. And I wanted to show you how we compare to the state in Galena Park at these four top obstacles for students. The state average for an economically disadvantaged student enrolled is 60%, and in Galena Park, we're at just under 86%. So you can see we have quite a few more students enrolled who are considered economically disadvantaged than that at the state level. For our English learner students, 20% of the enrolled student population in Texas is considered an EL student, whereas in Galena Park, we're at 36. So again, yet a significant number of more students here in our school district. Our homeless and our at-risk students, you can see that our teachers really work hard. When I say we are at or better than the state average, please keep these numbers in mind that our teachers and our community, that we've got some other obstacles that they're overcoming when we are comparing ourselves to the state. And also, as part of requirement of this annual report is that we do provide access to the Tapper glossary for our parents and our community and our public so that they can ensure that they understand the components of these. This is posted on our district webpage along with the Tapper report. Another requirement of the annual report is that we assure our compliance with the posting of the PEAMS Financial Standard Report. You can see this report is available at both the district level and for each campus. These reports are attached as links on our Tapper report so that as a parent pulls the Tapper, they do also have access to this financial standard report. The district accreditation status is another requirement, and TEA assigns one of 4 statuses to each school district. We can be accredited, or we can be warned, probation, or revoked. And TEA considers our academic accountability ratings, our financial ratings, our data integrity, as well as they look at any program deficiencies which are identified in our federal accountability system. And I'm very proud to announce that once again, Galena Park is accredited with no caveats to that rating. We are fully accredited as a school district. The next requirement is our campus performance objectives. This must be posted and available for anyone interested in looking at, and I can assure our compliance in this that both the district and each campus has developed and implemented an improvement plan, which is required. And these improvement plans include the performance objectives, which have been approved by you, our Board of Trustees. And these are periodically measured and we state progress. And these are available again on the district webpage as well as each of our campuses webpage. And then the report on violent or criminal incidents is also, we're required to assure you our compliance with this report. This report is posted on our accountability webpage. It is also available on each campus and the district federal report cards, which are posted, and we do communicate its availability to all of our parents through each campus and the district communications. And the last part is our post-secondary performance. Again, we are required to make sure that this information is available for our community. Post-secondary performance does come directly from the federal report card and the Tapper report for our high school campuses and our district. And at this time, the most recent is the class of 2017 and 2018. And at that time, we had 46% of that graduating class enrolled in an institute of higher education. And the Tapper and all other required reports for the district and all of our campuses, I assure you, are published on the GPISD website. They are also available as hard paper copies if needed. Parents or our public can come into the central office or to the office of any of our campuses in the district to request access to a hard copy of those reports. And that concludes the annual report public hearing. If you have any questions, I am available at the phone number listed, by email, or I can answer any questions you may have at this time.
I have a quick question, Terry.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know I could pull it up, but could you tell me, I know you said the attendance increase, but the dropout rate decrease. What percentage? You happen to have that on hand?
I can certainly pull it and get it to you. I'll just have to pull up the report to get it to you. But yes, the dropout rate, we want to go down so that we want fewer dropouts each year. But I can certainly pull that and give you the exact numbers. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions for Ms. Moore? Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
The public hearing is adjourned. The time is 6:15 p.m. We will now move on to this evening's regular called meeting. The Board of Trustees of Galena Park Independent School District is now convened in a regular meeting on Monday, January 11th, 2021 via video conference. The time is 6:15 p.m. I want to welcome the viewers to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park I.S.D. Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policies for the district. It is not the role of the board to make the day-to-day operational decision. The management and day-to-day operation of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to hear the matters discussed. Thank you for taking the time to join us today and for your interest in Galena Park Independent School District.
At this time, I will call roll. When your name is called, please answer with here or present. Ramon Garza, President.
Present.
Jeff Miller, Vice President.
Here.
Adrian Stevens, Secretary.
Here.
Trustees, Wanda Heath Johnson,
Present.
Noe Esparza,
Here.
Norma Hernandez,
Here.
and Herbert Alexander Sanchez.
Here.
Also joining us through video conference and will respond with here or present are Chris Gilbert, attorney with Thompson and Horton LLP.
Here.
Harold Sonny Fletcher III, Senior Director for Facility Planning and Construction.
Here.
Dorana Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations.
Here.
Christian Thompson, Coordinator for School and Community Relations. Anna Salinas, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent's Office.
Here.
Brian Clements, Executive Director for Security, Cybersecurity, Chief of Police, and Interim Director for Technology.
Here.
Elizabeth Valdez, Executive Assistant to the Board of Trustees and Superintendent.
Here.
Cabinet Member Sonia George,
Here.
Dr. Juana Giacona,
Here.
Elizabeth Layler,
Here.
Terry Moore,
Here.
Dr. Michelle Epps,
Here.
Dina Edgar,
Here.
Dr. David Harris, Mike McKay, Holly Malloy,
Here.
and I, Dr. John Moore, Superintendent of Schools, here. Staff members will practice social distancing as required and outlined. We will use masks, hand sanitizers, and disinfectants, etc., as recommended. I will now turn this meeting over to Ramon Garza, Board President.
Ms. Valdez, are there any citizen participation items for this evening?
We have no citizen participation items today.
Ms. Valdez, are there any public comment items for this evening?
Yes, we have public comment items.
Patrons who have duly registered per policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern, interest to the district, other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. I would like to remind the video conference audience that the comments of the speaker sent via online link reflect their own positions or opinions. The board may not discuss or act upon any matter that is not listed under this action item portion of the agenda. Therefore, board members may not discuss the comments. Please understand that a lack of response from a board member does not indicate agreement or approval of the comment. Ms. Valdez, you may begin.
Nelson Espitia, a representative from Commissioner Adrian Garcia's office, has a public comment tonight. Mr. Espitia, you may begin.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez, and good evening to you, Dr. Moore, and to the honorable trustees. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you all during School Board Appreciation Month. Last year, we met in person, and I shared with you all that I am a product of Galena Park Independent School District, class of 1992, back when we were known for water polo, state champions. And things change fast, things change radically. 2020 taught us that things can change overnight, but one thing stays the same, and it's the devotion and the commitment of the Galena Park staff and the Board of Trustees to ensure that generations continue to thrive in this educational environment. I'd like to read just a couple of words from Commissioner Adrian Garcia, who could not join us tonight. And this is what he says. Local school board members commit to children and believe that every child can be a successful learner. They work closely with educational institutional staff, faculty, parents, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our youth. The responsibility of ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school systems is not an easy one to bear. Those individuals who commit to shouldering that incredible task are worthy of commendation. The incredible commitment of advocating for public education and acting as liaisons between the districts and the public, communicate needs and expectations is a hefty task. We at Harris County Precinct 2 would like to join other school districts across the state to honor you for your dedication and service in this and the years to come. So as a former North Shore High School Mustang and employee of Harris County, I want to thank you all and wish you all Happy New Year's and a better, even better 2021 for all of us. Thank you on behalf of Adrian Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Espita.
Juan Cardosa Oquendo, a representative from Commissioner Rodney Ellis' office, has a public comment tonight. Mr. Cardosa Oquendo, you may begin.
Hi, good evening, honorable trustees. My name is Juan Cardosa Oquendo. I am a community engagement coordinator for Harris County Precinct 1 Commissioner Rodney Ellis. I'm the liaison for the extreme northeastern part of the precinct, and we do have a little bit of Galena Park I.S.D. So like my colleague Nelson said, I'll echo his comments. I wanted to, the Commissioner Rodney Ellis wanted to congratulate you all on School Board Recognition Month. Our office and the Commissioner recognizes your dedication and your hard work in advocating for public education and the needs of both today and tomorrow's children. So I want to offer myself as a resource too. I've put in my contact info in the chat. Contact me for anything county related. And on behalf of Commissioner Ellis, want to say that we look forward to continuing to working with you and continuing to support you in the important work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardosa Oquendo.
Tonight, I will be reading a public comment from State Representative Ana Hernandez. Representative Hernandez sends her regrets that she is not able to log in to congratulate you personally. She is currently in a Rules Committee meeting at the state capitol. However, she sent a resolution in recognition of School Board Appreciation Month. I will read a portion of the resolution she submitted. Whereas each of these notable Texans who serve on the Galena Park I.S.D. School Board has demonstrated an exemplary commitment to area students, and through their vision and leadership, they are contributing immeasurably to the future of the Lone Star State. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Galena Park Independent School District Board of Trustees be commended for its service to the community and that its members be extended sincere best wishes for continued success with their important work.
Thank you, Representative Hernandez.
Tonight, I will be reading a public comment from Senator Carol Alvarado. State Senator Carol Alvarado extends best wishes and sincere appreciation to the GPISD Board of Trustees in recognition of School Board Appreciation Month. I will read a portion of the resolution she submitted. Whereas January 2021 is School Board Appreciation Month in Texas, and the observance provides a fitting opportunity to honor the trustees of Galena Park Independent School District for their tireless efforts. And whereas public education is an endeavor in which all Texans have a stake, and the Board of Trustees of Galena Park I.S.D. has demonstrated an admirable commitment to meeting the diverse educational needs of all children and to empowering them to become productive contributors to society. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Galena Park Independent School District Board of Trustees be honored on the occasion of School Board Recognition Month 2021, and that they be extended sincere best wishes for continued success.
Thank you, Senator Alvarado.
I will now be reading a public comment from Mayor Esmeralda Moya. I will read a portion of the proclamation submitted by Mayor Esmeralda Moya. Whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectations to the district. Therefore, I, Esmeralda Moya, Mayor of the City of Galena Park, Texas, do hereby declare my appreciation to the members of the Galena Park I.S.D. and proclaim the month of January 2021 as School Board Recognition Month in our community, urging all citizens to join me in recognizing the dedication and hard work of local school board members and in working with them to mold an education system that meets the needs of both today's and tomorrow's children.
Thank you, Mayor Moya.
Sharonda Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations, has two separate public comments tonight. Ms. Johnson, you may begin.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. In recognition of Board Appreciation Month, we would like to present a video that reflects student and staff appreciation of GPISD Board of Trustees. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your service and thank you for helping us navigate to success.
A rising tide will lift all boats, and thanks to you, our vessel floats. You provide guidance so we don't have to guess the best route to navigate to success. Our journey goes from good to great, thanks to you, our outstanding team of 8. Always focused on the prize, our dreams you help us to realize. Education is like the roaring sea, forever changing, rolling free. You push us onward as we sail, guiding us so we cannot fail. The winding route we all must travel, where plans and dreams can all unravel. In life, we are faced with unknown storms and ever-changing rules and norms. Those seas ride rough and winds grow stronger, and to some, the voyage seems much longer. Our very lives you seek to bless. We thank you deeply for navigating GPISD to success.
And we hope you enjoyed that, Board of Trustees. Our babies really enjoyed making that video, and each one of you will receive the boats that they created. The next video was submitted by the principals of Galena Park ISD. Principals of the Year, Conrad Rivera and Shante Morris. Take it away.
Greetings. On behalf of the Galena Park ISD principals, we would like to thank you for all that you do for us, our students, and our staff.
You guys are rock, and we are truly thankful for a board of trustees like you. And from all of us to you,
thank you!
Thank you!
Board members, you will receive tokens of appreciation from our campuses and departments to demonstrate their thanks for the work you do on behalf of the students, staff, and families of Galena Park ISD. We hope you enjoy these heartfelt expressions of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
I will now be reading a public comment from Demetra Claiborne. To the board, thank you for the diligent time and effort that you've spent to consider that the best measures were taken in order to support all GPISD teachers, staff, students, and community members during this unprecedented time. Although I cannot meet with you all face-to-face to deliver my thanks, please know that your dedication to Galena Park ISD is significant and we are all extremely grateful for you. Thank you for everything that you've done thus far and all that you will continue to do in order to propel GPISD towards excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Claiborne.
I will now be reading a public comment from Kimberly Maddox. To our GPISD Board of Trustees, my name is Kimberly Maddox, and I am a paraprofessional at Galena Park Elementary. I am also a proud member of the Northeast Houston AFT. I come before you as an educator and union member to express my sincere appreciation to each of you during this School Board Appreciation Month. Your tireless efforts to make decisions and address concerns regarding the health and safety of our students are greatly appreciated. It is a difficult time to be a school employee. We face health concerns, financial insecurities, and overall uncertainty. Decisions regarding the remainder of the school year are now in your hands, and as an employee of the district for 30 years, I thank you for your dedication to the students and employees of Galena Park ISD.
Thank you, Ms. Maddox.
I will now be reading a public comment from Elizabeth West. Dear members of Galena Park ISD community, January is a month during which we give thanks for many things. On this School Board Appreciation Week, I will hope you will join me in giving thanks to the people who lead and support our school district on behalf of our community. My name is Elizabeth West, and I am a teacher at Williamson Elementary and a member of Northeast Houston AFT. This school year, our Board of Trustees faced challenges like no other year, probably more than any of our trustees envisioned when they first decided to run for their positions. They have had to make decisions regarding the health, safety, and well-being of students and staff alike. Board members have risen to the challenge and provided strong leadership. Unlike some school boards, this works well together and work out differences with civility with the common goal to ensure the safest, best learning environment for our students and an opportunity for employees to feel safe while doing the jobs they love. They make us proud. I want to thank them for their leadership, their commitment to our students and our community, and their support of our mission to continually improve the education system for our students. Our district is better because we have them on our team. Sincerely, Elizabeth West.
Thank you, Ms. West.
President Garza, there are no more items in this category.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. Today's invocation will be presented by Noe Esparza, and the pledges to the American and Texas flag will be led by Norma Hernandez.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give you thanks for all your blessings. We thank you for successful outcomes of school events in these very challenging times. We thank you for all of our teachers, administrators, and support staff. We ask, Father, that you bless them abundantly. We hold in prayer, Father, the collective suffering of our nation at this time. We grieve precious lives lost and vulnerable lives threatened. We ache for ourselves and our neighbors standing before an uncertain future. We pray, Father, that love, not fear, prevail and inspire our leaders to discern and choose wisely, always aligned with the common good. Heavenly Father, we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, and strength, and ask you to be with us in our deliberations tonight. Give us the wisdom necessary to make the decisions for the good of all those who have placed their trust, confidence in our leadership. Give us the insight to lead with integrity and grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do. We ask all of this in Jesus' name, amen.
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 Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now let's recite the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Esparza and Ms. Hernandez. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore.
This evening, we have some special recognitions. I would like to congratulate everyone being recognized today. At this time, I will turn the floor over to Mr. Ron Johnson, Executive Director of School and Community Relations.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Moore. I'm very excited to assist with the recognition portion of this evening's meeting. We are excited to recognize several community partners for their generosity to the students and families of Galena Park I.S.D. and a well-deserving student for her achievement in the PTA Reflections Program. Let's begin by recognizing our community partners: Harris County Precinct 3 Constable Sherman Eagleton, Major David Jones, Sergeant Julia Davis, and Pastor R.C. Stearns from the Joseph House Community Outreach Center. Through their thoughtful generosity, 100 Galena Park families received boxes of food for the holidays, which included milk, eggs, and chicken, among other items. They have also pledged to continue to provide at least 100 boxes of food to our students and their families on an ongoing basis throughout the spring semester. What a blessing to our school district and community. Galena Park ISD thanks you from the bottom of our hearts for your kindness and generosity. Next, we will recognize two other outstanding community partners: the East Harris County Empowerment Council, represented by Terrence Narcisse, and Vertex Bank, represented by Courtney Taylor. Through their generous donation of 100 turkeys, along with GPISD's administration building employees' donations of all the trimmings for traditional Thanksgiving meals, 100 GPISD families were blessed with all the food needed to enjoy traditional Thanksgiving. All of these kind community partners truly blessed our GPISD community this holiday season, and we are very thankful for their caring support of our students and their families. The last person to be recognized this evening is Galena Park Middle School 6th grader Isabella Salazar, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ruben Salazar. As a 5th grader from Galena Park Elementary School, Isabella competed against tens of thousands of students across Texas who submitted artwork to the PTA Reflections Program. Isabella's piece, entitled Rhythmic Beat, earned her the Award of Merit, awarded to only 1% of the entries submitted in this very competitive contest. Congratulations, Isabella. Your school and school district is very proud of your achievement. Thank you. This concludes the January 2021 recognition portion of this evening's meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Any board member to make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required? Comment items may not be pertained to the character of any student, staff, or board member, and may not be discussed or deliberated upon this time. Does anyone have a comment at this time? I want to congratulate the North Shore Mustangs football team for another great season. I know we wanted a better outcome, but it was an awesome game. It was an awesome season. And thanks to Coach K for doing a great job with those kids. And we're very proud of y'all. No matter what the score was on Saturday, it was a good game. You gave us a lot of memories this year, and we just wish you the luck to continue. If it's higher education or whatever you're doing, we wish you the best, and we just want to congratulate you on another great season.
I would also like to thank all the acknowledgements for the Board Appreciation Month. I also want to thank all the schools that always are just so thoughtful on the gifts that you give us. And I just want to let you all know we do this for the students, the staff, the teachers, the administrators, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to work for you all.
I too would like to say something. It's been an honor to be on the Board of Trustees. Galena Park ISD is one of the best school districts in the state of Texas. I appreciate all the hard work from everyone, from teachers, students, staff, everyone, administration. We've worked together and we've come through, especially through this pandemic. It's great to belong to this Galena Park ISD family. Thank you for having me and thank you for allowing me to be part of the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
I also want to echo the comments of my colleagues and just say thank you to all those who have sent us well wishes and for the wonderful gifts. They're very thoughtful. We truly appreciate it, and we just want you to know that it is an honor for me to serve on the board. As a long-standing member of the community and a product of this district, it's a tremendous honor for me to be able to sit as a trustee for GPISD. And I just want to say thank you to the community, to the staff, superintendent, and our entire staff at GPISD. I truly appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
I would like to also echo my colleagues and extending a thank you to everybody, the community, the staff members, our superintendent, and to all of the members that sent us gifts. Thank you for that. It's an honor to serve here as well. As a new member, I vow to do what's the best for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Harold Sonny Fletcher III, Senior Director for Facilities Planning and Construction, will provide a 2016 bond program construction update.
Thank you, President Garza, Board, Dr. Moore, and Cabinet. Real quickly here, and let me make sure it wants to go between the slides. Jacinto City Elementary School. Exciting in the picture on the left, you see the gray, how the walls are different in the picture on the left to the picture on the right. That's because they've primed those walls. So that's the addition at Jacinto City Elementary, where we're adding on a computer lab. There on the front of the building, and then in the right is the addition to the south. So if you'll remember, I was very excited about brick and things going on. Well, now even more excited to see that construction going very well with these additions. Where you see kind of the hanging squiggles in the picture on the right, that's where that'll connect into the rest of the classroom wing there at Jacinto City Elementary. Of course, Galena Park High School, you may recognize vaguely that picture on the left. That's that two-story addition. You saw it in the renderings earlier with brick, of course, on it. So very exciting to see that the metal studs going in for that structure. And then, of course, in the picture on the right, you can see the fire sprinkler lines are going in. The ductwork's in there on the first floor. So construction is doing really well there. Wrapping up our summer 2020 projects that we knew would go over into the school year. And then, of course, in design, working through our couple of big challenges, our Pyburn Elementary School, working through that. The Galena Park High School, working through phase 2, 3, 4, and how those phases work in our design. And then, of course, summer 2021 renovations. I've got just a little bit of work we'll be wrapping up this summer there. Of course, thank you all. Anybody have any questions? Great. Thank you all.
I will entertain a motion to approve the board resolution authorizing the Galena Park ISD to allow employees until the end of 2020 and 2021 school year to use up to 8 hours sick leave according to the term.
Can't hear Ramon.
Give him just 1 second. He's moving to another laptop. He lost communication on the one he was on.
I will entertain a motion to approve the board resolution authorizing Galena Park ISD to allow employees until the end of 2020 and 2021 school year to use up to 80 hours of paid sick leave according to the terms of the Family First Coronavirus Response Act as presented.
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve the board resolution authorizing Galena Park ISD to allow employees until the end of the 2020-2021 school year to use up to 80 hours of paid sick leave as presented.
Second it.
Can you say your name, please?
Wanda Johnson, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for the item. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and second by Wanda Johnson. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens, in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson, in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza, in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez, in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez, in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion passes 7-0 with no abstentions. I will entertain a motion to approve board resolution adopting rules for accepting electronic bids or proposals for any and all procurement methods referenced under Texas Education Code Section 44.031 as presented.
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve the board resolution adopting rules for accepting electronic bids or proposals as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for this item. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and second by Adrian Stevens. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens, in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson, in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza, in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez, in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez, in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I, Noe Esparza, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for these items. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and second by Noe Esparza. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens, in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson, in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza, in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez, in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez, in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
Wanda Johnson, move that we take the agenda as is.
I, Norma Hernandez, second the motion.
As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller in favor.
Adrian Stevens,
Adrian Stevens in favor.
Wanda Johnson,
Wanda Johnson in favor.
Noe Esparza,
Noe Esparza in favor.
Norma Hernandez,
Norma Hernandez in favor.
Herbert Sanchez,
Herbert Sanchez in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Jeff Miller, move we approve the financial consent agenda as presented.
I, Wanda Johnson, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for these items. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Jeff Miller and second by Wanda Johnson. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. Information. Sonia George, Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Superintendent for Operational Support, presented 1, the 2016 Bond Program Financial Report as of November 30th, 2020. 2, the General Fund Budget Summary Report for the periods of September 1, 2020 through November 30th, 2020. Number 3, a comparative tax collection report for the periods of September 1 through November 30 for fiscal years 2019 through 2020 and 2020 through 2021. 4, a donation report for December 2020. B, Elizabeth Layler, Deputy Superintendent for Educational Support and School Administration, presented 1, the Early Head Start Update and Fund 205 Expenditure Report Summary for November 2020, and 2, the Early Head Start Policy Council Minutes from November 2020. An executive session of the board will now be held in matters contained in the notice for this meeting as authorized by sections 551.001 through sections 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Opens Meeting Act. The time is 6:53 p.m. Staff, with the exception of Dr. Moore, Mr. Gilbert, Ms. George, Ms. Valdez, and Ms. Salinas, are dismissed from the boardroom at this time. All other staff joining in this video via conference will be placed on a Zoom waiting room. Staff who are live streaming the meeting, please stop the live stream video. Executive session is adjourned. The live streaming has begun again, and the board is now in open session. The time is 7:20 p.m. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:20 p.m.